Hey guys, welcome back to Smith RC Studios. Thank you for tuning in. It's Lewis Smith. Happy Sunday, first of all. Today is a continuation video again from I did an unboxing 2 weeks ago on this one and this brand new engine. But today I want to kind of go over some stuff and address some things that some of you may or may not know. Plus I got some parts here that I'm going to upgrade here. This new DBXL that's already upgraded from its predecessor. So let's go ahead and check out what we got here in the box. So go ahead and these are turtle. Actually, this is the. I already opened it. I'm gonna get this. I'm gonna use this instead of the plastic one that's in there. Full force brackets. Although I don't think it's gonna fit in the back. If you look over here, so if you see here, there's two brackets, two braces here, and DBXL point. The first version only has one, if I remember correctly. So this might not work for this, but the front one, yes. So I'm gonna change that out. I'll do it off camera, but I didn't realize that this has two braces here. So yeah, so this one here, they moved the battery tray a little bit back to make more room for this center diff here, and that's why the linkage is a little bit different than the first version. So yeah, so we got this. And then very important, since I'm running this engine right here, I want to run different gearing. Okay, the stock gearing on this came on the 32cc, which I sold to a friend of mine on YouTube, Earl Moorhead. If you're watching this, thanks for a shout out, dude. I like your channel. Anyway, I sent him that engine that came out of here. I sent him that, and I took the pinion gear out because I don't have a spare one, and I might need this in the future. And I'm realizing that this pinion gear is completely different than the Losi 5T. I'm learning a whole bunch on these on the DBXL. So this is specifically for a DBXL. Okay. Here's a part number if you're interested. Okay, so the gearing here is 22 on the pinion. Okay, which is a little bit slightly bigger than this, and I dropped on the spur to a 59. So they're both in here. So 59 spur gear and 22 teeth pinion gear. So I'm going to run that. I'm going to install it on the engine here, probably off camera as well. That's that, and I'm going to go ahead. Oh, here's the plate that I'm going to put on here, the top over here. All right, and there's a bracket I told you about. I'm running an FS clutch. Now, about clutches and clutch belts. That's the first problem, or I don't want to call it a problem, but the first thing I ran into is I'm noticing I wanted to run a Bartolone clutch bell, which is what I'm running on everything. You can see here on my Losi 5T, I'm running a Bartolone clutch bell. On this Losi 5T Bartolone clutch bell, I believe I'm running clutch bell Bartolone there. I forget, but I had a spare one and I was going to use it here. But immediately, the first thing I noticed is that the stock clutch bell that comes on DBXL 2.0 is different. The sizing is different. I mean, there's the same in diameter, but I don't know if you can tell in the camera. I don't know what this is called. This stick is thinner here. See? That's the Bartolone. That's the Losi DBXL stock. All right. So I'm not going to be able to use the Bartolone, okay? Because this part here that came out of the stock engine, which I sent to Earl Moorhead, this part here is the clutch housing. Okay. Now, if you try to put the Bartolone clutch bell, it just won't fit. Okay, versus the stock one, boom, it goes in there just like that. Voila. So as I mentioned, I'm gonna run this instead of this stock one here. All right, and that's gonna go in there. So I'm gonna use so I am gonna end up using this stock bell here, okay? And I'll put this back in the drawer. All right, and then what else do we have here? More extra spark plugs, and yes, this is important. This, I believe Earl Moorhead also had mentioned this in his video. I just saw it just a couple minutes ago. I just finished his part 2 video. So this is important for the Losi DBXL if you're going to run a tuned pipe. Because the one that comes from Losi, I noticed, not me personally, but somebody online said that this here, by the way, it's plastic. I don't want to use this plastic anyway, so I want to change it out to metal. That's reason number one. Reason number two is that when the pipe comes out of the engine, it's hitting too low here, and these arms come out a little bit too high. So I'm not sure if it's hitting the pipe or the pipe is just really close to it to where it can melt this plastic here. So that problem is addressed by using this flat metal one right here. So, but if you're not running a tuned pipe, then I guess it doesn't really matter. I am. Chris Bartolone is currently working on my pipe. I believe I'll have the first one coming to this channel, but I don't know when that's going to happen. Hopefully pretty soon, because I want to start running this engine. All right. So, okay. So that's that. Now the other thing that I needed to address here, very important. I'm learning this as I go. Regarding the DBXL, the modifications that I have to make, and I ran into this minor problem. It's not a big deal. It can be fixed. It can be modified. Okay, so the reason I'm bringing out all these engines is so I can demonstrate what I'm talking about here. So in order to mount these engines, either one here, this is a stock 32cc Zenoa that came in a one of my Losi 5Ts. Okay. Here's a brand new Bartolone reed case engine that I will use sometime. It's just sitting pretty for now. And then of course the new 35 Taylor that I'm going to be running in here. So the reason why I have all these out is because I did not realize when I had the DBXL 10 years ago, the first version, I never swapped out the engine. I kept the 23cc stock engine in there, so I never ran into this problem. I never knew this. Okay, but now that I'm upgrading to this engine here, I didn't realize that in order to fit all these engines, you're gonna need this special part, which Michael Lucre over in Australia, good lad, really cool guy. We talk every once in a while, actually a lot, and yeah, he said, yeah, Lewis, you're going to need this. And so I went ahead and I ordered it because I was not, all these engines just go drop in directly into, you know, the Losi 5Ts here. They just drop, boop. But they won't drop in here because this is it's a smaller platform. So what this does is it extends. Okay, so I'm just going to grab this little stock 32 just to demonstrate. So when you put the engine down like this on the truck, obviously, you know, you screw it at the bottom with the chassis matches these holes here. However, since it's smaller, the DBXL, these holes on the chassis are over here, slightly over here. So obviously you can't mount it here. So you would need this part to extend right up there to put there, right? So now effectively we have moved these holes to here. So now it just goes straight down, okay? It goes straight down to here. Now the problem is, it won't. This part here won't work on this Bartolone because you put it down here like this, and this part here is a little bit too long. So I'm sure there's a way to modify it, but I'm not using this Bartolone. But I just want to demonstrate that this part here won't work for this Bartolone, nor would it work for what I'm trying to use, which is this Taylor RC, because you see here, this part here already comes out about 1/2 inch. See the other engines here. See this one here. Stops right there, halfway in. Halfway, you see? And then the Taylor doesn't have that groove. It just goes all the way out. Therefore, these holes would be way too in. We want the holes to be right there, right about there. So, easy mod. I think I'm just going to have to use a Dremel and cut these extensions here off. I just hope that the measurements are accurate, right? So if I cut that off, it'll just go straight in like that. So that's what I have to do. I'll do that off camera Hopefully I get the measurements correctly. Okay, so off camera I went ahead and dremeled and just modified it. I guess I could have done a cleaner job and smooth out the edges there, but yeah, I went ahead and took that little extension off. Okay. Now, before we proceed any further, as I mentioned earlier in the video, I'm not going to be able to use my Bartolone clutch belt because it was small. This extension here is bigger and it's a little bit thicker as well, so it wasn't going to fit the carrier, the clutch carrier. But since I'm here, before I install everything, let's just double check and make sure this clutch will actually fit in this clutch belt, and it looks like it. Yes, it will. Yeah, see, there's a little bit of space. That's good. So let's go ahead and proceed to install the clutch. All right, quickly, just going to install this really quick, but I just wanted to point out this this Bartolone tool, which obviously you use to, you know, to apply here to the engine so the piston won't move when you're installing the clutch. I was going to point out that it also has multiple other uses, one of which being a beer bottle opener. As you can see here, it's scratched up right there. That's because I use it every once in a while to, you know, pry open my beer bottles. So just a little FYI on that one. Okay, so let's go ahead and just install this. Let's go ahead and put these turns, so the bending side goes down here, if you don't already know that. Okay. Oops. Kind of hard to do this on camera, but there you go. All right. Okay. Let's get that clutch in there. Get that washer. All right. Now I did use Loctite, so I just did it off camera. Now I'm just kind of getting this tight. Here you go. Clutch is in place there. Reattach the pull start. All right, like I said, I'm not using this pinion gear here. I'm gonna go ahead and use this one. 20 tooth. 22 tooth, okay. Guys, so just off camera, I got it all assembled, ready to go and put into the truck. Looks nice. The clutch belt moves smoothly. Although I did notice a little bit of a give there. It's a little bit of a play. A little bit of play. I don't like that, so I may have to find a some sort of washer or something. But anyway, I'll fix that off camera. And then I went ahead and modified this part, and I already tried to fit it in there. It looks like it will fit, but the problem now, there's always got to be something else. There's always got to be a but. So this is the part, you know, it'll stick onto here like this. See, that works right there. So it'll mount to the chassis through these holes here. All right. The problem is that my screws that go in here should be coming out a little bit out here, so that I can tighten them up with a bolt. Put a nut in there with the bolt, but the problem is these ones here are not threaded all the way. So when I start sticking, this will be long enough, as you can see here. It will be long enough, but the problem is it's not threaded all the way, so I can't. It stops when I'm putting it in there. So if you guys have any spare, let me know in the comments. Send them over. I went to Home Depot and this is the wrong thread pattern, so it won't even. This is long enough, it'll do the trick, but it's the wrong thread pattern. So yeah, anyway, that's all for today. I'm not gonna go ahead and install it, unfortunately, so I'm gonna need longer bolts. so I can put it in there. But after that, I'll do everything off camera. But yeah, so you guys can see. Let's put it in real quick. All right, it looks nice. It looks really nice. The black and billet. So go ahead and yeah, it looks like it fits perfect in there. The gear mesh, although I still have to take this apart to put the 59 spur gear, because that's the stock. I think it's 62. So I'll put a 59, and yeah, that looks pretty good right there. And then this is the part that will eventually, once I get the right bolts, go there, which will mount to the chassis at the bottom over here. So yeah, so that's enough of that for today. I'll do the rest off camera, but yeah, thanks for stopping by here, Smith RC Studios. I think next time you guys see this truck, I want to hopefully have it running, but like I said, I'm still waiting for the pipe from Bartolone Racing. That's the last bit of the piece of the puzzle here. Everything else I'll do off camera. There's no need for me to do this on camera. It just takes a little bit longer. So if you guys have, if you guys do have any questions about how I did something or whatever, I will address that, in the next video or in the comments sections. But for now, this is it. Thanks for tuning in. Smith RC Studios out.